Hey everyone, it's me, Gavin Vengeance, and welcome back to MyXP. Today we're going to talk about Final Fantasy III, one of my personal favorites actually in the series. However, I didn't get a chance to play the original NES version because it wasn't released in North America. It was only in Japan as well as Final Fantasy II. But the very first time actually picking it up on the Nintendo DS Lite, that's the one that I had. I didn't have the regular DS at the time. But, you know, just picking it up and trying it out, seeing how the graphics had been, like, a major improvement from Part 2. But like I said, that's due in part to actually being overhauled for the DS. I know the graphics were kind of, you know, 8-bit back in the NES era, but at the same time, it was just a pleasant surprise for me just to, you know, be introduced to Lunith and the gang, going through their story, learning about, like, how it was that classic Final Fantasy feel of gaining the powers from the crystals, you know, to defeat the greater evil, pretty much. But it was just so fun to actually go through that adventure, and I found that one was a lot more story-based, and it had a lot more playability to it with the introduction of the actual, like, job system. It wasn't, like I said, as basic as Final Fantasy I's job system, which pretty much was, you pick your job, you're stuck with it. Until like level 30 or something, whenever that quest happened in one, but that's not the case. Final Fantasy III, you had free reign to like change your jobs for each character, and you can change it any single time that you want outside of battle, and you know, it was just cool to see how different each role played. For me, I actually absolutely love that system. Even to this day, it's still one of my favorite introductions to any RPG, is just the job system. And Final Fantasy does it so well to make each job unique that for me, it's a must-have in any any RPG for me. Also as MMOs, like I was going to say. But, you know, just being able to customize your class, play it the way you want, and see different abilities, see how each job operates, it adds that much more level of like depth to the game. It's astounding. But yeah, like I said, going through the game, very first time I played on the DS, I ended up getting up to, I believe it was Garuda, and just getting completely owned and never being able to like pass it, not wanting to grind to be able to pass it, and I just kind of gave up at that point. But a few years later, it was reintroduced on Android and iOS, so I bought it for my phone, which was an Android phone. And going back and playing that, I actually ended up going through the entire game and completing it. And I gotta say, like, the story it's awesome. It's one of my favorite ones. Like I said, you know, going against like Zonde and the Warriors of Darkness and stuff like that. It was awesome. Like that's classic Final Fantasy to me. The music in it, Nobuo Uematsu, oh man, that music it still holds up to this day. The Crystal Tower theme alone is so memorable, and it gives me chills every time I hear it. And actually, it's not only just that, like the battle themes, I mean the boss themes, everything in that game in terms of music is spot on. So, you know, you got characters, you got story, your music, everything is perfect in that game. And I can remember, like I said, just playing that, you know, it was probably only a few years ago. And even now, like, some days I'll just be walking down the street and I'll hear that song play in the back of my head, just the Crystal Tower theme. And yeah, it's just great composition of music, and the game itself is awesome. Definitely one of my favorites. So if you guys haven't played that game, I highly recommend going and trying it out. You'll definitely be surprised, and it does still hold up to this day. Actually, I think I'm probably going to end up going back and playing it again soon, because it's that good. It's that good. Once again, you know, thanks for joining me, guys, for this episode of MyXP, and next episode's going to be Final Fantasy IV. It's going to be a good one. So look forward to that. That'll be it sometime next week, and I think it's probably going to be a one-parter, but it may be long enough that I may be able to make 2 parts out of it, because that game has had a huge impact on me. Regardless, thanks for watching this episode. Don't forget to share, like, subscribe, and if you guys really liked it, you guys can help support me on Patreon as well. I have a page set up. If not, you know, just don't feel obligated to do so, but if you want to, if you guys like the show, you like my content, you want to support me, then that helps out a lot. Really appreciate it. And yeah, as always, I'll see you guys next time. Take care.